Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another stout review. We are full swing into stoutness, and tonight we're checking out, this is a 2019 vintage, I do believe, bottled November 14th, 2019. This is Founders KBS, but this is the Espresso edition, and I have no idea where I got this beer from. I must have just randomly seen this at some spot and grabbed it and forgot I had it. So when I was going through, I have a little wine fridge. It's got stouts in it with the other fridges, but I like those because I can just grab them in their cellar temperature, which I love. I saw this and I was like, you know what? I want to drink this tonight. So 12%. Founders is in Michigan, somewhere in Michigan. I reviewed KBS on the channel before. I like that beer. It's fine. It used to be kind of a whaley beer, didn't it? Wasn't Founders kind of like a whaley-ish stout back in the day? I remember like trying to seek it out. I think Nathan was the first one who ever sent me KBS. But yeah, this is the espresso edition, so let's get into it. And it is dark. Stoutness is always fun. We've reviewed a couple stouts. I haven't uploaded, I think I've only uploaded one so far, so what was that? And of course we're gonna you guys want to hang out while the garbage truck goes by? It's almost 6 o'clock. Like, what is happening? Anyways, yeah, KBS used to be a beer that I used to, like, I don't know, it was just a beer that was high on my list. Was like super into wanting to drink it, and you know, was talking to a bunch of people, and there's people who tried to sell it to me back in the day for ridiculous amounts of money, and thankfully, I think it was Nathan who sent me my first ever bottle. But KBS is actually around here in San Diego now. You can walk into some stores that have 4-packs of it. So for whatever reason, I just don't buy it. I don't know why, but I must have seen this and said, you know what, I want this. So it is pitch black in the glass. It poured out dark. Good finger of mocha khaki head. It was a little bit bigger than that. It dissipated as we waited for the garbage man to drive by. But we're using our 4 Brewers glass because this has white print on it, and I figured a stout would look good in a glass with white writing on it. So shouts to the 4 Brewers. This is my favorite part of it. It says brew the shit out of it. Love this glass. If you guys don't know 4 Brewers, check them out on YouTube, and they have a podcast. I think you can go to like 4brewers.com is their website. You can just Google 4 Brewers. Let's shove our nose in this one, see what it's got. This, I mean, this still has a good amount of coffee. I mean, per the label, it says it's a coffee stout, right? Ale brewed with chocolate and coffee, and aged in oak bourbon barrels. This, and then I don't know if they just add espresso. This smells like chocolate-covered coffee beans to me. It smells awesome. I love fudgy stouts. Chocolate is my favorite part of stouts. Regardless of adjuncts, I love when beers are fudgy. I love that brownie kind of a thing. It's chocolate covered coffee beans. There's a slight hint of some booziness, which I think is coming from whatever barrels they age this in. A little bit of woodiness, but this is still just tons and tons of chocolate and coffee. It says it on the label, it's exactly what you're smelling. Let's go and taste it. Cheers. So I was saying that this beer doesn't, I think I said it didn't smell crazy boozy. It is pretty freaking warm. There is like a fusel alcohol aspect of this beer that just sits on the side of your tongue and goes all the way down your chest. And that awesome chocolate coffee aroma, it doesn't quite carry over to the taste. This has a good amount of like coffee bitterness. If you guys have ever drank, you know, stouts with coffee in it, it can sometimes get really bitter. People say acrid. This has that thing going on. It doesn't go like green pepper, but it's really, really bitter. And that just rad like milk chocolatey coffee note that you get on the nose, you don't taste that. This just tastes kind of like bitter alcohol. Maybe it's the age, I don't know. I talked about it in, we did a toppling Goliath and Horse stout that had coffee in it. And I just talked about bitterness in coffee stouts. With age, I think it gets more pronounced. I don't know what it is in the coffee, in my experience. If you let coffee beers age, it just, that happens. I don't know what it is about it. For 12%, this is a pretty thin beer. But yeah, that fusel note and that bitterness is just taking everything over. It takes away from that, like I said, rad kind of milk chocolatey, fudgy nose, and that espresso. Maybe it's the espresso that they're using. I mean, I have espresso once a year, if that, and it's usually every other year, because whenever we celebrate Christmas with my wife's family, their family does espresso after dinner, and so they pour it in those little glasses, and I'll sip on it, and it's pretty intense for me. I'm not a big coffee drinker. I love coffee and beer, but I don't drink coffee. So maybe that's what I'm tasting, and it's just coming off as bitterness. It's just intense, and it's kind of off-putting. And that bitterness kind of, and that alcohol flavor kind of makes your tongue, it's really, really dry, and it kind of gives off like when you have a toothpick on your tongue, and maybe that's the barrels that they use. This is not, I mean, I don't know. It's not a terrible beer, but this is not anything that I would go nuts over. This is nothing that I would go and try and seek out again. It could be the age, I don't know. This has been in a refrigerator for as long as I've had it, and then probably a month or so ago, I would say, because I was moving beers from my cold fridge to the wine cellar. It's been there for like a month, so maybe it was me that did that caused this to happen. I don't know, but not exactly stoked on this beer. So that's about it. There's not much else to say about it. If you guys have had it fresh, maybe we can talk about it. Maybe it's better than this, but this is just kind of a mess. It's just an alcoholic, like just bitter kind of mess of a beer. I'm not stoked on it. So you win some and you lose some. Not the worst beer in the world, obviously, but this is just not my cup of tea. So that's KBS Espresso 2019 vintage. Today is December 7th, 2020. So this has been in the bottle for over a year. Take that at face value. So that is it. I'm out here, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. See you very soon. Cheers.
Thank you for coming behind the bar, in the arcade, all that shit.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.